Thursday, June 2nd, 2016. What is a maggot? And no, this ain't a biology lesson. I just want to be real clear about what my definition of a maggot really is. So what is a maggot? A maggot is a little worm, a larvae that is born and bred in shit. Excuse me, feces. A maggot thrives off of death and destruction and rot. It's a sick little worm. I just want everybody to be real clear that when I say maggot, you know this is what I'm talking about. This is my vision of a maggot. And I also want to make it very clear that when I say maggot, this is who I'm talking about. Now, it could be any average run-of-the-mill scumbag depending on the conversation, but usually 9 times 8, well, I don't know, I wouldn't say that. Like I said, depending on the conversation, but usually just if I'm talking, it's definitely addressed to corporate America, the people that run the world. I mean, does anybody actually believe that we still live in a democracy? Huh? Are you serious? A democracy? Yeah, right. This earth is ran by kings and queens just like it's always been. This democracy doesn't exist. It's just to keep us fighting and arguing about a politician and a Democrat and this law, but they're all these fake ass corrupt laws are all made by the same people, the kings and queens that run this earth. And where do you think they get their money? Corporate America and politicians making their fake ass laws. So I hope we're all clear now. You know what a maggot is, right? Raised in feces, thrives off of death and destruction and rot. A little worm. Well, now that we're on the subject of maggots, might as well talk about these corporations. Maybe somebody's listening. God, please, I hope somebody's listening. So, what is a corporation? A corporation, by definition, and I'm going to read this right out of this Community College Business 101 book. A corporation, sometimes referred to as a regular or C corporation, is an artificial person created by law with most of the legal rights of a real person. These include the right to start and operate a business, the right to buy or sell property, the right to borrow money, the right to be sued, to sue or be sued, the right to enter binding contracts. Unlike a real person, however, a corporation exists only on paper. Yeah, that's where them lies start coming in. There are approximately 6 million corporations in the United States. They comprise about 19% of all businesses, but they account for 83% of the sales revenues. 83% of all the sales and money are going to these corporations. That's what that just said. Do you understand? These corporations run everything. They have all the money. And in case you don't understand, and what is the first, what is the definition? It is an artificial person created by law. It's artificial. It's not real. It's a lie, and it's created by law. Does that tell anybody anything about this about this country, about this world? 83% of all sales revenues Everything getting sold goes to this 19% of corporations. Are you serious? What do you mean? That's basic community college business 101 right there. Yeah, and I'm reading a book. How about that, huh? Now, there's two types of corporations: closed corporation or a private corporation. A person, this is out the book. A person who wishes to sell stock of a closed corporation generally arranges to sell it privately to another stockholder or a close acquaintance. And just remember this stuff because I'm going to make a point here at some eventually. The open corporation or the publicly traded corporation is one whose stock can be bought and sold by any individual. Examples: General Electric, Microsoft, and Johnson and Johnson, or any corporation that's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. These publicly traded corporations, or these open corporations, are what are killing America. And people don't understand. You want to go shop at Walmart because they got the cheapest prices. Well, there's a reason they got the cheapest prices, because they're destroying all competition. They buy so much merchandise that it's hard for a regular business person to compete. These people buy millions and millions, maybe billions, who knows, worth of merchandise every year. This artificial person buys all this and sells all this merchandise, and they get such deals from the suppliers that a normal little hardware store or something like that, the prices they get, because they buy very little because they're a private owned little organization, they get shafted. So they got to pay top dollar for their merchandise, which means in order to get a profit or to make any kind of money, they have to sell it for a higher price. Well, Walmart ain't their prices are so low. Their higher price is cheaper than what this guy might be able to buy his products for. So they're selling stuff and making a profit. Then they're selling it for cheaper than the average man on the street running a regular business could buy it and make a profit. You understand what I'm saying? They're selling it cheaper and making more money than the neighborhood guy. He's got to pay more to buy it, so he's got to sell it for more, and he ain't even making as much money, and he still got to charge more for the product. So of course, how can he survive? Unity, that's how he could survive. You understand what I'm saying? Because money, you see, people just don't understand that money is a circle. There's only so much money on the planet. It's supposed to be backed up by some kind of resources. What we used to be gold. So we couldn't print any more paper money than we had gold in our vaults. But now, they got away from the gold standard. I guess it's based on oil, the petrodollar, because that's our resource now. And it's only our resource to make money because they want it that way. Do you understand? We have so many alternative energy sources out here now. It's ridiculous. We could power this whole country for free. But they can't charge anybody, so no, we can't do that. We'll just keep poisoning and polluting the earth and destroying anybody who gets in our way. We will murder whole countries and sit in the ocean with our freaking destroyers and shoot cruise missiles. And we got a bunch of kids on a computer screen who think they're playing video games, shooting missiles with pinpoint laser accuracy with fucking cameras on them so they can watch the impact 100 miles offshore where they can't be touched. Do you understand? They think it's a game. This shit ain't a game. They're blowing up thousands of peoples. They're playing a video game. Oh, and since I'm talking about the military here, here's a scary phrase that everybody should be terrified of. You want to talk about terrorism? What is a private military contractor? Hmm? What What is that? That's a private army hired by the richest people. Who? Corporations. Corporate America. What does a corporation need its own private army for? Hmm, I wonder. Oh, I guess they probably do need their own private army if they're gonna go murder thousands and thousands of people and steal all their natural resources. I suppose. Yeah, you probably would need your own private army. Yeah, you need to be more scared of that than this Taliban or Al Qaeda or whatever they're talking about. All these terrorist organizations that they help create. You understand? By murdering and killing and corrupting spiritually and physically, mentally corrupting a whole people by constant bombardment to missiles blowing up stuff just so they could have those resources that we don't even need. Do you understand? So they can make money. These corporations, these people who run it, these kings and queens, they are diabolical and they will stop at nothing. The only thing that means anything to them is their bottom line, that dollar, that profit. But I'm starting to drag off the topic, so let me get back to this circle of money. And it's supposed to be based off of resources. I mean, it was gold, which it should still be, but now I guess it don't even matter if you have resources because our current president, if that's what you want to call him, he just prints money whenever the hell he feels like it. Now, I don't think you understand that what that means. People are not really grasping the whole concept of what that means. That means he's printing money that we don't have any kind of resources to back up. So that money is worthless, really. And other countries are going to get smart eventually and stop taking our money. And then what do you think is going to happen then? Huh? Somebody needs to pick up a history book because this stuff is getting ugly. So let me let me get back to the circle of money. So because this affects every single human being on this earth. But I'm gonna just tell you my experience because this isn't a story about something I seen somewhere. This is what I witnessed growing up as a human being on earth. I grew up in a community where we used to have all kinds of businesses. We had a chip shop, potato chip shop on around the corner from where I grew up, where you could go watch them make fresh potato chips and buy them while they was still hot. Everybody, there was a neighborhood grocery store, there was clothing stores and music stores. I mean, well, nobody buys music no more, huh? But anyway, everybody, there was just all these local businesses, and these people that own these local businesses lived in the community. Even shopping malls, the old shopping malls that you could walk in with all the 100 different stores. At least they were owned by another a higher entity, but they leased out the property to independent business owners that lived in the community. And see, all these people made a profit. All right, a profit is everything above your wages. So, if you're running a business, you could get a paycheck just like you get a paycheck for working every day. And then when the company makes a profit, if you're a private person, you keep all that profit. Upon your normal paycheck, you can still get your regular weekly paycheck. But at the end of the year, when that profit rolls in, it goes into you. Now you got a big fat profit check. So you you go and buy stuff. You know what I mean? You buy a house or you buy remodel and stuff to remodel it. You buy a boat. You buy a car. You buy something, and you buy it from a local business person, and they make a profit. See, all that money is a circle because you guys all live in a community together. So that money circulates in the community. You understand? So now, as I got older, that's how stuff used to operate. And people had money and they bought their homes and they cared about their property and they cared about their neighbors. You understand? Nobody cares about nothing anymore. And this is why I'm trying to tell you. So everybody cared, you know what I mean? It was a nice community. Well then, later on, these box stores start buying up stuff and opening all these super box stores. Alright. Box hardware stores, box grocery store, all these big huge corporations. I don't even like to plug them, so I don't like saying their names. These maggots selling all this stuff, huge store, all this discount in one place. They got groceries, they got hardware, they got lumber. This is crazy. You see what I'm saying? So now, and they buying up mass product. So when they buy mass product, they get a cheaper price. So they start selling stuff cheaper and they're still making a killing. Well, meanwhile, everybody that got this nice little community is losing money, going out of business, selling their homes, moving out. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's about to happen. So the box stores start doing such a business that all the little neighborhood stores go out of business, and this is all part of a master plan. This is just phases. These people are diabolical. They have patience. So they put all the little local stores out of business. Now, this is what happens, see, because they got publicly or open corporation or a publicly traded corporation, right? That's what all these box stores are. So now the private little businessman, the LLC, limited liability company, or sole proprietorship, these dudes that were making all these profits in the neighborhood and spending all this money in the neighborhood, now they're broke. They don't have no money. But these box stores move in and they trying to get rid of the unions. They try to get everything. They put the shopping malls out of business. All these little, all these little 100 independent stores in the shopping mall that's probably owned by somebody local and ran and everything. Making profits. People's making money. See what I'm saying? Spending money in the community because that's where they live. Now everybody wants a deal and everybody's watching TV and nobody's paying attention while these maggots do their work. Do you understand? Create and decay. Create and decay. So they set their stores up and they start making all the money, right? Because look, just it tells you right in the community college business 101 book right here. Uh, Unlike a real person, because these people are not real people, they're maggots. However, a corporation exists only on paper. Yeah, there are approximately 6 million corporations in the United States. They comprise 19%, only 19% of all the business in the U.S. But they make 80% of the sales revenues. Do you understand? 83% of the sales revenues. 19% of all business accounts for 83% of all business. Do you understand? That's in the basic business 101 book. Right there, it tells you, man. And it tells you they are a fake entity. They are a lie. They are liars. Unlike a real person. However, this is straight out of the book. A corporation exists only on paper. an artificial person created by law. This whole fucking thing is a contradiction with more of the legal rights, most of the legal rights of a real person. Start a business, buy, sell property, borrow money, sue or be sued, and the right to enter and binding contracts. That's you could do anything in America like that. Nobody knows who you are. These people are diabolical. The whole capitalist society is it's a good idea in theory because you could go from rags to riches and all that bullshit, but the whole system was designed with corruption in mind. Do you understand? It was set up that way from the beginning because they knew who was going to be running shit, and they still are running shit. And people need to, I don't know what, you guys got to start looking at that TV. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. It's all the chemicals and shit in the food. It's fake processed food everybody's eating. But look, I'm getting off topic. The point is, you guys gotta wake up, man. I'm trying to give it to you right here. I'm telling you, this is straight real knowledge. I'm not bull. I'm not BSing anybody. So, so all the little small business are going out, and the box stores take over. These maggots take over, and now it's a publicly an open corporation taking all the business out of the community. A public traded corporation gives most of the jobs in the manufacturing community. Back then, it was all manufacturing jobs, and people could work one job. Just one person could work, and they could raise a family, and people had time to raise their family. Now you got two people working 40, 50 hours a week, and the TV raises your family. People ain't raising their family, they working, they eating chemicals, they're fucked up, they're spiritually corrupt, nobody believes in God. These people are worshiping Satan on TV now. Every music video, you ever watch what your kids are watching? They are worshiping the devil on TV, literally. This is, I mean, what the heck, what is going on? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So these public corporations take over, see, and their main objective is to make profits because they have shareholders. The private man, the private corporation, his his idea is make profits, but he's gonna spend his money because he lives in the same community. He's gonna spend his money in the community. Do you understand? He's gonna buy a house. He's gonna care about his neighbors. His neighbors are gonna be on the same page. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna make money and spend it in the community. These publicly traded corporations. Man, I might have got off track okay, look, but these publicly traded corporations, all their money goes to stockholders, and their main focus is they don't care about the community. They care about profits, because these profits go to stockholders that live overseas, or they put their money, even the people they put their money in offshore accounts, they can't be taxed, they can't be touched, blah blah blah. All that money is going out of the country. It's going to where these rich people live, these select few that run everything. It's going to where they live. You see what I'm saying? All the while they're killing the profits in the local community. So the local community starts starving. I mean, they gotta go to work for them. They gotta get a job at one of these stores. And then these stores are like a union. What? We don't need a union. No, nobody needs a union anymore because everybody's sleeping. So these people are getting paid pennies to build stuff. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I know a worker from General Motors that 15, 20 years ago he was making $30 an hour. Straight regular pay, not overtime. 30, go to work on a Sunday, you getting $60 an hour, and everything was half it. It wasn't as much. Nowadays, they sold all the whole auto industry, sold America out, the country that made them great, who they were in the first place. They sold us out, and they sent all their manufacturing overseas to China and Mexico and all this crap. And then they take the people they got and they buy them out. They try to get rid of them, give them a buyout, make them retire early so that they can hire new people for half the amount. These people are maxing out now with all this crash and all this bailouts. Man, these people ain't lost nothing. They take it out on us. We're the ones losing. They ain't losing shit. They never lose. When these people don't make a problem, when they say we lost, no, they just didn't make as much as they did last year. Trust me, because they could make 5 billion, and next year they could make 4 billion, and they took a loss. A loss of what? You still made $4 billion, and you starving the people? Are you serious? What are you talking about? This shit is out of control. It, everybody is. Oh my goodness, Lord, please wake these people up, because I don't know what is going on. They are just running us. Do you understand? We are the new slaves. We work for them. I keep getting off topic, but this is still on topic. Because look, so now they get this stuff set up, right? They get everything set up. All the small businessmen are out of money. Everybody, then they got this whole housing market crash, so everybody's out of money. So everybody's got to buy their cheap ass shit, making them more money. And then they're giving people jobs for half as much money as they made 15 years ago, and charging twice as much for their products. Are you serious? People are making half as much and they charging twice as much. Does this make sense to anybody? Am I the only one who notices this stuff? Is anybody out there, or am I just talking to myself? Just like M said. What is going on? And people are just taking it. No union, no benefits, no retirement, 401k, that's all you're getting. What do you got? You're on a leash, making $10, $15 an hour. Now everybody's got to work. Why? Meanwhile, your kid is getting raised by this weak ass school system, and they're watching a phone full of propaganda and lies, and watching devil worshippers on TV. They are worshiping the devil. This shit is out of control. Are you serious? What do you mean? Nobody is paying attention. What is going on? It's hard to stop cussing at a time like this. So now, let me get back. So now they're making all the money. They're making all the profits. And everybody's working for them now because they went out of business because they can't buy stuff as cheap as these people. These public corporations, open corporations. So they're running everything now. Everybody's working for them. So they just start deciding to pay people less money. Basically, some other corrupt individual maggot. Yeah, I gotta stick to the maggots. Some other corrupt maggot that runs the banking system or the real estate market. They run all of this stuff. Because it might be 19% of the corporations making 83% of the profits, but I guarantee you 1% of the population owns those 19% of those corporations. Yeah, yeah. So they're still making all the money. They are the kings and queens. People, wake up. Huh. This election is for our destruction. That's all it is. It's for our enslavement, for our, because we stay divided with these politics, and people just can't understand, man. They are killing us. We are killing. No, we ain't killing. We're killing each other. For what? for them, for what they do, for these corporations, what I'm trying to break down to you right now. So please listen up. Just listen up. Wake up. Turn on. Turn on. So they're running everything, and then what? The real estate market crashes. They built this bubble and it blew up. So now everybody's losing their houses. And ain't nobody got these jobs anymore. These manufacturing jobs are all gone, so people are broke. You see what I'm saying? Then they come in with their heroin and their that they done stole from overseas while they blowing up a whole nother people. And then they got the opium they need to make their pills. These pharmaceutical corporations, they ain't growing opium fields in America. You better believe that. They go get them opium fields from the Taliban. You see what I'm saying? Then once they got the opium fields, they done blew Al Qaeda up, framed them up for terrorists, created all this created all this mess, got everybody living in fear, blowing up buildings, blowing up buildings, making money, dropping shit, killing people, put all to their master plan, putting people in check. Wake up. These people are diabolical. They're ruthless. They are killing us. They are killing us slowly and quickly. Assassins, private military contractors, they killing humanity. They ain't just killing America, they killing humanity. They raping and pillaging and blowing and bombing and destroying everything that gets in their fucking way. What is going on? I don't understand it. So now they got us. They got us broke. They got us on drugs. They sucking all the profits out of the community. Because them profits they making selling all that cheap stuff that you buying where you need all these trinkets and stuff. Everybody needs this and needs that. Don't nobody need none of that. We managed to get along for thousands of years as a people without it. Nobody needs it. They make you want it. They make you need it. So they can make their money, their bottom line, their profits. So they're sucking all the profits out of the community now because they're an entity. You understand? A lie, basically. That's exactly what they are, an artificial person created by law with most legal rights. So that's what they are. And they got all the money. They're putting it in their offshore accounts. And they're spending all their money overseas, giving Chinese and Mexican people jobs. Okay, that's fine. I don't got nothing against Chinese or Mexicans. I'm just saying, America is suffering. This country that made these corporations great, we are suffering because they want to make a profit and they're not losing nothing. You'd be a fool to believe that these people are losing money some kind of way. They are ruthless, but they are few. We need unity in this world. So even if you chopped your penis off, we need you too. Because we're all getting bent over by the same people. God's gonna sort you out, homie. You wanna mutilate yourself? That's fine. Like I said, I don't care what you do in your free time. But we need unity because we all got an answer. And they could kill me if they want to because I got an answer too. And you ain't gonna dictate what I do. I'm a good person. I try to do the right thing. If you gonna kill me for doing the right thing, well then so be it. Because let me tell you something. I'd rather die once than 1,000 times being a liar. The truth is my sword and God is my judge. Let back on topic. So now they done got all these spoils of war and they're distributing them on the streets freely. So now not, oh, in the 80s, see, people talking about the war on drugs in the 80s, but the war on drugs in the 80s was selling cocaine, was them blowing up drug dealers and stealing their cocaine so they could sell it in America and got everybody hooked on crack. That's when I could tell a whole nother story about the whole crack epidemic, but that's for a different day. So listen, so now they got everybody on all this heroin that they're blowing up the Taliban for. And they're stealing their opium fields and they're making pills with that. But all the dope they already got processed, why waste that? No, the American people need that dope. Are you serious? We're gonna make some money and get paid off of that dope. Shit. What do you mean? Right? So that's what they're doing. So now we're all broke and now we're all drug addicts. All our kids are drug addicts. Yeah, man, I don't know how many people I know died from an overdose. My best friend died from an overdose just recently. So they got us burnt out, broke, burnt out, and working for them. And they making all the rules. You understand? They are making all the rules. And we are broke and burnt out and work for them. And now they're paying us less and they're charging more for everything. And what people don't realize is just stop shopping one day. Man, stop buying stuff. Wake up, just a whole town don't show up to work. What's gonna happen? Because we run it. They make 83% of the money, but we build 83% more than that. 90% of the country, and we do it all. We build, we sell, we can do it all. We're the ones who do it anyway. We're just doing it for them. For what? It doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. You want to hurt these people, just stop working. If everybody stopped working, they would have to change something because that's what unity is about, man. You need the military. See, all these cops and gangbangers, I'm talking to everybody, every American citizen, alien, whatever, tranny, homo, whatever it is in the country. I'm talking to you because we're all getting bent over the same by the same people in the long run. So, I mean, people just need to wake up, man. Somebody gotta wake up. Somebody talk to me. Because this madness has to stop. So they got us strung out on dope. I'm trying to get back to the point. They got us strung out on dope. They're making all their money at these box stores, convenience, whatever you want to call these stores, these superstores. And they're taking all the profits. No local people got profits anymore. So we can't spend money in the community. We got to spend money with them because they sell the cheapest stuff. You understand? And we don't have no money because we got to work for them. And they're taking our benefits away every day. And they're getting rid of the unions. And you know what I'm saying? They're paying us less and charging more for their products. What is going on? So they siphon all the profits out of the community. Now nobody can buy houses no more. The market blew up. Everybody loses their houses. So they start renting. Everybody's renting. These corporations are probably swooping in, buying up hundreds of thousands of properties because the property's so cheap and they got so much money. So why not, when it's blood in the streets, buy property? You know what I'm saying? Now they renting to everybody, so now we're renting all our houses from them. Nobody gives a shit because they're all strung out on heroin. So we're all fighting and killing each other. Then in the meanwhile, they got this fake election going on where all these so-called dignified people, they're fighting and arguing about that crap. And people in the streets are fighting for crumbs and fighting for dope money and stealing and robbing and killing and raping. And it's a whole big pile of mess. All ain't benefiting. We are in a culture of self-destruction. We are destroying ourselves, man. Is anybody listening? What is going on out here? Please wake up. So they've siphoned all the money out of the communities. They took the jobs away, and now we're sitting here murdering each other, strung out on dope. I mean, how clear can this be? All the while fighting about who's using a bathroom. I mean, the most common sense answer is get 3 bathrooms. Then there's no more argument. Everybody gets their rights. Or shut the hell up about it, because you cheap bastards don't want to spend none of that money you killing us for. You don't want to spend that. You want to create commotion. You ain't trying to cure the commotion. You ain't trying to cure none of these diseases. They created them too. Chemicals. Eating chemicals. Check out that movie called Snowpiercer, where they're on this train and it's an ice age and this everlasting motor or whatever on this train just keeps going around the track while this earth is frozen. And it's the poor people in the back and the rich people in the front. And they feeding them protein bars, right? Well, towards the end, the poor people revolt and they get towards the front. And they start seeing all the stuff that they never seen before and how these people are living. And they seen where the protein bars came from that they've been eating. And they was roaches being ground up by the millions, or beetles or something. I think it was roaches. But, and making these protein bars. They've been eating little slimy jello mold bars made out of roaches. And they get up to the front and these people got aquariums with fish and they got chickens and they're eating meat. They got a regular little school room going on, like in some fantasy land school or something that don't exist. That's how perfect it is. And these people are back there eating roach bars. That's what's happening, America. That's what's happening. We're eating roach bars. We're eating McDonald's. We're eating all this processed crap because nobody's got time to cook anymore because they all gotta work. We gotta work. We gotta work. And in the meantime, what are they doing? Oh, we'll give you a credit card with a 25% interest rate. Compounded monthly. Annually maybe, but who knows, they're probably compounded 25% monthly. You got an interest clock running on in your head from now to the day you die, paying mortgage interest, this interest, whatever. Even if you rent, you using a card, you paying interest, you got bank accounts. These people are making money off your money and you're steady paying them, and our jobs are getting worse and the food is fucking killing us, man. What does it take to see? Turn on. They have bled our communities dry and flooded them with dope. All in the meantime, they've been blowing up and stealing resources and killing and murdering and stealing this dope they're giving us and killing us, making us brain dead, got us following screens around like zombies. These kids don't know what to do. I'd say a prayer for the millennials, because if they don't have that phone, they're worthless. It affects their whole being for some reason. I don't understand it. They are entranced deeply with technology. It's it's all self-destruction, people. It's all self-destruction. It's all here for us to self-destruct so they can have their way with their evil plots, man. This stuff is more. The stuff I learned recently is crazier than a sci-fi pick. People, please wake up. This was just a little business 101. Truth is my sword. God is my